My brother, André, thanks for being here on Table Noire, the podcast. I'm really pleased to have you here with me.
Thank you.
And technically, you're welcoming me. So thanks for the invitation. So, as you know, on this podcast, we're documenting a Black community and diaspora all around the world. And I took a real interest in the Black community in Norway because obviously we don't expect they will be here. Right now, I didn't expect myself to be here.
Yes,
So, to start, I would like you to introduce you to that you can introduce you to Table Noire. So tell me a bit. Who are you?
I would use a story maybe to give a descriptive interpretation of myself and possibly also give the Table Noire audience a preview of what this conversation will be all about.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, there was a woman in Central Africa, born in a village, born in what we would interpret as in poverty. So for a girl, the best you can wish for is to finish high school and possibly pray for a rich husband who can possibly take you out of your parents' house.
Yeah.
And then you can build a living. But that little girl didn't want that type of lifestyle. She dreamed for one day to become a doctor. She performed so well in high school that the extended family in the city heard about her performances and said, no, we cannot let this young girl just go by. We will sponsor her schooling. Please send her into the city. We will finance her university studies. She moved to the city, and as you and I know, where boys are, girls are, there are always friction.
Yeah.
So she fell in love and got married to a guy who was also at the university studying to be a lawyer. First year, they got her first child. Everybody was happy. Everybody was excited. The second year, she fell pregnant again. But this time around, it wasn't so good because you see, she was preparing to write her final exams to becoming a doctor. But here she is having problems with the pregnancy, and there's weeks and months to come to prepare for her exam. The husband cautioned her and said, look, let's just get rid of this one, then we'll have some more later on. Because if your family hears that you are struggling like this, it's going to look bad on me. She refused. The pains and troubles got so bad, eventually her family heard that she was struggling to study, to prepare for exams. So even they also started putting pressure on her to get rid of the baby, focus on her exams, and later on they can have some more. The pressure was so tough, she caved in, booked a position in the clinic, was in the queue, waited her turn. When her name was called, she walked in and met up with the doctor. And this is what he told her. You know, ma'am, I see so many young women like you who come to my clinic for this type of operation to abort their babies. And later on, they have problems clinically having more babies. She was only 25 years old at the time. Now, this baby that was almost aborted is not something I've read in a book or seen on a YouTube video. Because that baby that was almost aborted is actually me.
I saw it coming. I was like, yeah.
So
it kind of shaped your...
Yes.
I can feel the...
Yes,
okay,
sir.
when you were saying it, I could feel that it was like shaping your being.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate the fact that you shared this story. It was like, and so how you told me, because we talked about it before, you were born in Congo.
Yes, sir.
But you had to move, and you'll tell me why. And you went to South Africa to most of your youth was in South Africa.
Definitely.
So I would like you to go with me briefly through your childhood, Congo, South Africa, and school,
Yes, sir.
everything.
My parents had a beautiful life in Congo. My father was a practicing lawyer with his own firm.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, a lot of the legal policies that was written to bring internet into Africa, my father was part of that.
Okay.
The FIFA being present in the French-speaking sides of Africa, my father was legally involved in writing some of those tenets and policies. Yeah.
Okay. It was a
They
big thing.
had a good life. They really had a good life. My mother equally was a hustler. She was a medical doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there was no need for them to move.
Yeah.
But because they were very politically conscious of what was happening in the country, they knew that things eventually will crash.
Mm-hmm.
And if it crashes, then there is no opportunities for their children.
Yeah.
This is why they decided to migrate to other countries, both my parents with 6 of their children, 4 boys, 2 girls.
Okay.
My mother had traveled around the world to look what are the possible countries that we can migrate, while my father held everything together at home in Congo. She traveled for almost 2 years, just migrating here, migrating there, looking at this, looking at that. Eventually, she had settled for South Africa. She wanted to go to Canada, but the biggest thing for her was that she wants her children to have a strong African uprising that will really cement their identity. Therefore, South Africa won over Canada.
Your mom did a really great work.
Definitely.
Even like taking these 2 years to go around and really like kind of, you know, be kind of a scout, you know, like scouting the lands and know exactly where her family can like grow and stay strong. It's amazing.
Definitely, my brother.
So she chose South Africa. So like,
yes.
At what age you went to South Africa?
So I came in South Africa and I was 12 years old.
12 years old.
That's
okay.
it. 12 years old. I had 3 months to learn the English language and start high school.
Yeah, because in Congo you're speaking like
French.
Yeah.
That's it.
And what was you speaking Swahili or Lingala?
I was speaking, I spoke Lingala.
Lingala. Okay.
But my mother's tribe is Muluba, so they spoke Chiluba.
Okay.
Yeah, but because we were in the streets, you pick up the Lingala.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay, so you arrived to South Africa,
yes,
going to school, learning English. Briefly, how was it for you? Like how, like obviously, like it's a different culture.
Yeah,
because so it's not the same. So obviously, there's different culture, different like way of life and everything. So how was it for you and your family?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in South Africa was the lack of culture.
Yeah,
there are activities and things. Yeah. The South Africa you know now is not the South Africa of the 90s.
That's yes.
Big apologies to your South African listeners, but they have a lot of thanks to give to the influx of foreigners.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That really jump-started the image that you see of South Africa today. When we moved to South Africa was rated as the worst airline in the world. The hostesses used to curse at the people. The service was extremely poor.
Mm-hmm.
Men only wore like 3 colors: gray, blue, and black.
Mm-hmm.
It was not vibrant.
Okay.
It was not vibrant.
Because like the image of South Africa that I have for my generation is like first so many like different tribes, ethnicity with like really big culture, you know, that they kept on.
Yes.
And also outside of the right now, the Amapiano, all this movement and everything. It's like something that you say like South Africa, there's like, first of all, our new South Africa is about the Afrikaners, like the white people over there. So obviously I had no desire to go. So that I had like, you know, the Nelson Mandela and stuff. So it gave you more interest, but still don't want to go because Afrikaners. And after that, you know, like thanks to like, obviously like, I would say mainstream TV shows, stuff, you get like way more interest and you rediscover what you already know, like about the all the ethnicity, all the like the different culture.
Yeah.
So when you tell me there was like you found no culture there, for me I was like, whoa. When you told me that, I was like, for real? Is it like it was a lie? You know? So no, that's interesting that you like you are like this, you saw this. So okay, and at school then, how was it for you?
That's it. And because it definitely reflected in society of the lack of culture, you know, Because South African, when we moved there, now they were in that transition of creating the Rainbow Nation.
Yeah.
They just won the Rugby World Cup. They just had a new independence, and the world was in their view, you know. So they had to present something. So what they presented to the world was this Rainbow Nation where blacks and whites and Indians and coloreds were together. But we, the ones who were living there every day, it was a totally different story. There was no such thing as a Rainbow Nation. Like my friend always used to say, we are politically we are segregated, we are integrated, but emotionally we are segregated. Yeah. And you could see it, for example, in the sports. You take the rugby, for example. Look how multiracial they are. Let one of those players get married. Go and see the event in his marriage. Only the people of his race.
Yeah, I see that.
And vice versa. So there was no culture. There was no culture in the cities.
Yeah.
But the influx of those of us who came in started kind of this rumbling that eventually has blown up to be what it is.
What it is now.
The best thing I like about South Africans is that they are able to take something and make it their own. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're able to take styles and cultures and themes and what and flip it and make it something to itself. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I found now at school, just to give an example, that was my experience. At school in Africa, South Africa, we wear school uniform.
Yeah.
The idea is that uniformity, you know, kids must look the same, dress the same.
This is the way in our countries. Like,
that's it. Nobody must be pressured to have new shoes every time. In a sense, it helps, But over time, you realize there's also a downside to it, but we won't focus on it now.
Yeah.
So in that school, we were wearing uniforms every day. But every now and then, they had what they call Civic Day, a way of the school raising money. They would ask you to come and give some contribution to the school, but then on that day you can wear your normal.
Yeah, you can be you.
You can be you.
You can be you.
So you can imagine the pressure as a young person. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there.
You want to flex.
That's it.
You want to flex, obviously.
So you can imagine the hip hop guys, the skateboard guys, the Amapiano of the time, which we used to call them pantulas. Yeah.
Okay.
They also wanted to have their own style, the all stars and the flashy shirts. Everybody was killing it. Of course, you had a minority group of kids who didn't care for those things. They just wore jeans and T-shirts. Yeah. But for the most part, a lot of us wanted to really represent our identity. And guess what I woke up as at school?
You came in boo-boo.
Yes, sir.
Full dressed. I know it. You came in full dressed. Like... representing,
my brother. Representing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the worst experience of my life. The kids laughed at me from morning when school started until school came out at 2 p.m.-ish. Yeah. But later on, I learned why they did that.
Why?
Because when you look at the old movies, whether it's Hollywood, French movies or whatever, what type of attires that do servants wear?
Yeah, they wear like stuff like this.
That's it.
Technically, it's like, you like the poor
That's
thing.
it.
This is the representation
This is the representation. That's it.
If you like wearing this type of clothes, it means that you're in this category.
That's it, my brother. That's it, my brother. And this is what I'm talking to you about culture. There was no culture.
Yeah.
The culture the kids knew was the Nikes, the Kango, that's what they were rocking.
Yeah.
I came through rocking our things and I was mocked at.
This is why you said like there was no culture, but you meant like the Western culture was like so deep installed in South Africa that you didn't see what you thought you'll see like our culture.
That's it.
Like
That's it.
their culture, the South African culture, not the US culture.
Borrowed.
Like Now I understand that. 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
It has to be like, obviously it's we all have this moment. I remember because even me when I was at school, I remember like it was like for costume day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously like for costume day, I'm my mom said like,
yeah.
you're gonna pull up with your traditional clothes. When there was like all this stuff, like putting like for French people that listen, all this like Mama Africa, like this from I think was from Yannick Noah.
Yes.
And like they were putting it. It was like, so like, this is your song and this is your thing. And I was like, nah. And obviously you put in your head like you have two choices. Say like I will not care. I have my identity. I don't care. I know that's a drip, that's flex.
Yes, sir.
Or you're gonna be like, I'm never gonna wear that shit again. And it is where you lost yourself, So I do understand. Okay. And from that, because so now you youth, like you youth 16, 18. Me, when I'm interested, because I know that photography and like filmmaking and all documentary, for me, I'll say for me because I know how you feel about it, but for me, is your heart. Okay, it's art for me. It is art. Yeah. So what's really interests me on this is like, do you recall, a significant moment where you got like this little switch on? So like, oh, you know what? This is something that I want to do. I want to show. This is something that I want to put my heart in it, And when you you decide to capture all this, like this image, this moment around the world, like what put you in this? What was the switch on?
It's a brilliant question, my brother. I wish it was sparked by a positive event.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it was not. So if I can give you a context in which I was working within. So in our daily lives, we have these different type of spheres. It's called spheres. You have the sphere in the air. You have the sphere in the water. You have the sphere of the land. And they have their own names that they go by.
Yeah.
So I usually like to use that analogy to say that we have life force in the air. We have life force in the water. We equally have life force in the earth. Yeah. And each of us, humans, equally as animals and trees, have been given certain criteria to live within those different spheres.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that we humans are the only one who has introduced another sphere, which is where I find myself, which is fear. Fear. And what fear does is that it cripples you and then makes you only have two choices. So my actions are always based on two choices. One of the choices is that I want to avoid punishment. And the next one is that I want to be liked. So because of my experiences, I've been knocked off the air, knocked off the water, even knocked off the land. Now I perform at the lowest base, which is fear. And that is where my introduction to art started. Because for the first time, I realized it's when I perform my art, I'm the least afraid.
Okay. Your heart feels was your defense.
Yes.
Something that will protect you.
Big time. Where I can interpret the world for me.
Yeah.
Where I can understand my pain and my joys according to my voice. And that was power, my bro. And that did not even start with photography. It started with the hip hop.
Okay.
I told you about the discrimination I had moving to South Africa in high school. But in the hip hop, we had in the mornings what we called a cipher. Kids will create a circle. The guy will drop a beat. That's it.
Let's go.
That's it. And when you killed it there, they respected you.
It was your way in.
That was my way in to say, okay, I will shade my beef in the freestyle. I'll shade my frustration in the freestyle. I'll shade in the rap. And that was my point with art, expressive art. But mind you, that's not my first exposure. I was one of the child, those bow wow type in Congo, but not for the rap, but for the dance. Okay. I was one of the popular kids who used to dance.
You're a b-boy?
No, so many people like these African dance and dombolo and whatnot.
Okay.
I had my own band. We used to travel, dance in parties.
Nice.
I'm not strange to popularity. I was killing it already in Congo. Yeah. Many of the reasons even of moving away from Congo was because of me. Hey. My parents were afraid that I was going to go into that world. Yeah.
I see.
I used to skip school, go to concerts and performances. My father would come grab me and beat me in front of people, you know.
Yeah. But so, So
art for me, my brother, was my scapegoat. And it even interpreted eventually to films and photography.
Okay.
Where I was like, I put it to you this way. Everybody shoots the sunset. Mm-hmm. Everybody.
I do.
Film the sunset.
I do too. I'm like, it's coming for me. I do too.
But my attitude is, I want to film and photograph the effects that the sunset creates. How does the sunset
that's good.
reflect on a stone? How does the sunset reflect on a tree? How does the sunset reflect on a human face? How does the sunset reflect? Yeah, that's my thing. I don't want to see the world like everybody sees it. I don't want to shoot the sunset. But I want to document the effects, how some of these events, activities, and how it impacts on the humans, both in the air, in the water, in the land.
That's a gem right now, because like that's true.
Yes.
Obviously. Okay. Nice. And so you get like this, I would not say revolution, but you have like this way in, you know. You started, like you said, with hip hop. You got like to kind of shape your mind around what you want to see.
Yeah.
And obviously, and after that, you moved to photography and filming.
Yes, sir.
And during our past conversation, you told me you traveled a lot.
Yes, sir.
So like now you're in South Africa, but you told me you travel a lot. You've been traveling, and obviously, like being in your situation, you have the possibility to travel.
Yes.
And so me, I'm like, actually, like, I know you lived in different countries in the continent, in Africa.
Yes, sir.
So I would like you to tell me how was it? Put me through like your experience in these different countries briefly, but also like how it shaped your heart.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir.
And if it was like really something that really impact your being.
There's a beautiful African proverb that says, does a man stop drinking water just because his son drowned in the river?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
How can something that gives substance of life is also able to take it away? This is my experience. Loving my people, loving the water, yet those are the very same people
who hurt you,
who hurt me, who drowned me. I want to kill this idea. You know, when you talk about a traveler, people think this is luxury. It wasn't luxury, bro. It was a burden for me. I loved my people. I loved our continent. I would borrow money from my parents. I would sell my laptop to put money together to travel. Nobody paid me, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody paid me, my brother. I'll be in my room, burning the midnight candle, reading, studying, so that when I go to those communities, I can bring them something genuine that can transform their lives. It was no luxury, bro. Sleeping in those mats, my bro, no comfort, bro. But loving your people. No project writing, no payment, nothing.
Yeah.
straight out hustling, my brother. Sitting in the taxi like this packed taxi for 12 hours, bro.
Yeah.
In the mountainous place of Madagascar. At any time, this thing can capsize, bro.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there, you're like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? But you remember, I love the water. I want to drink the water. But somehow that same water
hurts you.
Hurts you, my brother.
But this is what I'm feeling like. You mentioned Madagascar and obviously like these other countries.
Yes, sir.
I would like to know first why you went there, you know, and like if there's like some project that you did that you can tell me about in these different countries.
Definitely.
Like that.
So in university, I studied what they call community development.
Okay.
How to assist poverty-ridden communities, how to work with them. On the other side, I had the hip-hop, the music.
Yeah.
And then from my background of religion, I also had a pastoral training, how to counsel people, walk with people in their hard times, and do this and do that. So with these three trainings, I fused it together and started creating my own programs. And then I would present it to different communities.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So all I ask them, I don't need your money. Just in the weekend, send your kids to a community center. If you can, give me time during the week. I'll come into your class for 1 hour or 2 hours. Yeah. So what I was doing is that I was teaching young people soft skills or entrepreneur skills. What I would tell them is that what I would make them conscious about is look around your environment. What is it that you can start up? What is it that you can do? It might not be much, but it can be a hustle that can build to something. Typical small example. Why don't you buy this packet of sweets? And then you go to school and then you sell it at a little bit high price. You know what I'm saying? Small things like this. Why don't you send in the corner of the streets? When the elderly come, you pick up their bags and you carry it for them. I'm sure they'll be generous enough by the time they get home to give you a little some. And then you keep it, and then you keep it, and then it builds into something, and then it builds into something. Now they can trust you with that sack of rice to carry. Tomorrow they'll call you to go pay for something. Tomorrow they'll tell you to come and clean their house. You build on that. Yeah. That was my hustle, bro. I copied nothing from no one. I was inspired by many, but I took the little that I had, the community training, the hip-hop, and the pastoral love for people, and I fused it together. And this is what brought me to those communities. Yeah. And out of amazingly, when I was in one community, another one asked me to come to another. Yeah. This is how that's it. Moved. It was never planned.
Yeah,
this is how I moved.
I understand.
This is how I moved. It was not a luxury thing. Oh, next week I'm in. No. Somebody's like, bro, you know what you're doing, man? I think you should.
I would like you to do it there.
I'll go talk to them. Maybe you can go 50-50 on the airplane. I'll go there. That's how it worked, my bro.
Okay.
That's how it worked.
So you've been like documenting like black communities for like a long time then.
Yes, sir.
All around.
Yes, sir.
And on this, you know, what was like, I can understand, I can feel even with your voice, the love that you have for the communities. This was driving you, obviously. Is there was something else that you saw and in a way, I will not say in a selfish way, but really like who could like shape your art that kept you on going for our community, to our communities?
One of my fears is the older I get to lose my memory.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I started thinking about is the documentation. Documenting things, preserving things. A gentleman, when I was coming up, he explained to me, he says, I hope your film and photographs can express three things. It can express the land where you are at. It can talk about its people, and it can preserve its language. If you can,
third one is big. It's really rare that you get this.
Yes, sir. Now, can you imagine, how do you interpret that in a photo? How do you interpret that in a film?
Yeah.
Remember that analogy I told you about shooting the sun? You can shoot this, it's easy. But can you push the envelope a bit further? For me, that's what I was doing. I'll give you a typical example. I'm in the Seychelles. I get contracted to shoot a wedding, to photograph a wedding. I'm excited. I'm ready. My cameras. Weekend gets there. I rock up to the church. I'm waiting for the big entrance. Everybody's there waiting for the couples to come out of the fancy car. The bride comes out. Woo! Excitement. The broom comes out, my bro. My draw drops. The man is handicapped. Nobody told me. So now can you imagine this scenario? There's a beautiful tall woman and there's a guy in the wheelchair. And he's so conscious that everybody's looking down at him. Everybody. They come to the wife and then and you can see the guy is just...
You feel like the guy felt like on this particular day, you know, that people like kind of look down on him.
Yes. Physically, emotionally, yeah. And you can see, man to man, I could relate.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there thinking, I can do the normal thing. I can shoot the sunset.
But it's not going to give him anything. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, my bro. I'm just... I take safe shots just to say I already have something. But I'm just sitting and I say, no. Something must be done. Something must be done. Something must be done. And eventually, man, there was just that turnaround. I got it. I just knew what to do. And I began to take. I knew how to position myself in relation to her. I know how to position him towards the invitees. I knew. 3 days down the line, when I sent them the photos, the wife called, my bro, crying. He said, man, you don't know what you did for my husband. You don't know what you did for my husband. The way he sees himself in those pictures is not how people see him.
Yeah.
I thank you. I cannot thank you enough.
That's true.
So for me, my bro, this is for me. That's my art. Yeah. That's the heart of my art. To dare to go the extra mile. To say, what is it that I can preserve here? What is it that I can interpret that is beyond what everybody just expects to see? It's at a cost, my bro. But when you push, you can really create a miracle. And that's where I'm at, bro.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny thing because like now you tell me all this, but when we started talking, at first you'll tell me like you don't really like to use art.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? What do you think it is? Like, because you know, like in art, like you can do art here, but I think this one said like people like you told me, a lot of people call themselves artists or stuff. For me, how I say it is like, for me, if you like put something, you create something, you create anything, but kind of make me feel, I will call it art. To be honest, I don't need you to be good at drawing, to be good with your hands, stuff like that. But if your little drawing give me something, I feel something, I will call you out. I will call you an artist. I don't care that everybody call you like you cannot draw for shit. I will tell you're an artist because I felt it. You know, it's how. So the hour and even you like saying this, I can feel. This is why I say like, really the thing with the sunrise, I'm like sunset, I'm like, this is that's real. So now, you know, like your main theme, you know, of your, like for you, what's the main thing of your photography? And what I really want to know is like how our community perceived it. No, so like the main thing of your photography or your filming, or your art, and how it was received by our community. So you tell us a little bit by the wedding, but like globally, you know, I would like to know.
Yeah. You know, my brother, I've come to realize that perfectionism is not celebrated. You know what I'm saying? People like me who are overly enthusiastic about life, overly sensitive and careful to really portray things in a manner that is not typical. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we are not celebrated, or at least we are not celebrated in our time. You know, maybe there will come a generation that will pick up this thing and be like, "Oh man, look at the passion in which this guy was putting these videos together. Look at this guy photographed this woman. She came very sexually provocative, but just look how he was able to shape her and protect her dignity even without her knowing." You know, it's not celebrated. I have pleaded so much with my community to give me space, which, interesting enough, they give to others who are outside of our community. But I have never been afforded that opportunity. And by that I mean financially, my art is not respected. So I'm not well paid. Emotionally, my art is semi-understood. So it's not celebrated. And politically, of course, it's totally disregarded. The militancy of it, it's so drained out of it that it becomes just another postcard that we send to each other.
Why do you think? Why? Why's like the why? Simply why? Why you're like this? No way in. You know.
What's that famous Jamaican reggae singer who says, is this because I am black? He has a really nice song that he says that. Is it, he asks the question, is it because I am black?
So you ask this question to your own community?
Yes.
This, you know, like it's extremely powerful saying this, you know, is it because I'm black to your own community? And it's already extremely sad too.
Yes. Because they don't negotiate with Qatar Airways when they need to take a trip.
Yeah.
They don't go down to the supermarket and try and get a lower price than what is stated on the product. So why is it that when it comes to you and I, all of a sudden it's a bargaining conversation?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Believe me, this is something I live every day. Every day.
And that's the finance side. The political side, the emotional side. You and I are called upon juries who are not our equals, who are not playing in our field. Yet we have to explain to them who we are, what we do. Who are they?
Yeah.
They don't call the Michelangelos and the Shakespeare to explain themselves. They take it as face value. Oh, yes, they are. But you and I, we have to explain ourselves to these people. Who the hell do they think they are? The best you can do is like, oh, bro, I don't get it, but respect. Let's keep it pushing. But I will take my 200,000 krona equipment and I would photograph an event and I will create a body of work. Painless taking time to do the editing, to do the framing. I'm sitting there in the rain. My equipment can be broken, but I have the love for the water. So I keep going.
Yeah.
But 3 months after that event, my photograph is right next to a guy who went to the same event chewing gum with an iPhone. We are paid the same, we are printed the same, and our work is put next to each other. And me, I must applaud that.
Yeah. Obviously, you see no respect for the work.
Zero, my brother.
Mm.
But where do you talk?
I feel that.
Where do you talk, my brother? Where do you begin? Because it's one thing to appreciate to look at the Mona Lisa. But it will be even better if you understood what you were looking at.
Mm.
So our people have no interest in learning to understand what they are saying. They want to project their own ignorance into what we interpret as art.
You know, it's not like, for me, it's something like that human being, do. It's more like following the trend, following the mass, Because I never had like big interest, on, like you said, like Mona Lisa, or even here, because in Norway, the scream, the scream is like something that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
I remember like 3 years ago when I came, I was like, I want to see this painting. Why? Because it's famous and it's not something that I saw before.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see it like where I was living. So I was like, let's go. And I was looking at it, I was like, I think most of the people, like, I was not impressed by it, to be honest, but it's not because this is not my type of art.
Yeah.
This is not my type. This is not something that make me feel something.
Yeah.
This is not my type of art. And also these people need to understand that it's like this feeling something is really important. You're not going to say like, that great skills, cool for you. I'm preaching, good work. You have skills that didn't touch me.
Yes.
So at this point, I'm not interested.
That's it.
But people are going to say it's a masterpiece. People are going to like say stuff is a masterpiece. For other stuff, it's a masterpiece just because 10,000 people before them told them that. It's like if 10,000 people say that, it means for most of the people it means that it's true. But it can be like 10,000 dumbass people who like don't know, like don't want to know any field. That even like look at it properly, just say like, well, the guy on my right, the girl on my right told me it's nice. So like I feel like it's more a human thing. We say like we're gonna follow the thing. But our community, what I see the most with like my brand or other stuff, or like with my friends, what they do and stuff, it's like we really we really in the system of showing. Not like, I'm not like being superficial, but like showing to kind of try to run after like the the delay that we have on other people. That we think a lot, like some people, our community think we have delays on other people, so like they want to show and say like, yeah, we are on the same thing, so you can buy this, I can buy this, stuff like that. But when they turn to us, when we turn to like our own community, since they already know the delay, they expect not having to run and to show the same to us, to our own community.
Yes, sir.
So this is where I see like, the work is like, it's not, for me, it's not that much being like not ignorant, because I know that we know. This is the crazy thing, I know that we know. It's more like being okay. Being okay with saying like, we're not in delay. There's no delay between them and us. There's no gap. There's no gap between them and us. We on our own lane and we need to keep walking together. If I put you on the stage, it means that there's possibility that you can put me on another stage. A bigger stage. And I can put you on a bigger stage. Like this thing. And this is the crazy thing is this is our other communities' work.
That's it.
This is exactly our other communities' work. So I can totally understand the frustration because believe me, I still have sometimes this frustration. And every time I'm thinking that I need to be surrounded by people who have like, people like from my community are really comfortable with who we are. you know, who we really are, and not be afraid to say like harsh thing to each other.
Yeah.
Because this is how we move from
Yes, sir.
you know.
Yes, sir.
Now you decide to move to Norway. So my question is, what was your image? Because I don't know if you've been in Europe before that, if, like through your travel, but like, what was your image of Norway before coming there? And yeah, what was your image after all this travel in the continent?
I could give you a long, straight, lengthy, but I'll compress it in saying that I borrowed my wife's eyes. Just to put it that way, you know.
No, it does make sense. It does make sense. But is it not like kind of a sacrifice?
Definitely. Eventually, I realized.
Yeah.
Eventually, I realized. Because now when I began to see for myself, it was really unfortunate.
Yeah, obviously, after a certain time, your eyes open.
Yes, sir.
Even if you borrow someone else's eyes, it's kind of like, you know, when you lose a hand and you take the hand of someone else. But like, it's possible there's rejection. You know, like the body rejects it.
That's it.
And technically, after some time, even if you borrow the vision of your wife, after a certain time, your eyes say like, yeah, it's not us.
Agreed.
So like now you're in this phase.
Yes.
Damn, my brother. Because I can feel it. You know, like I feel it in my belly. I feel it in my belly. For people who know stuff, like belly is truth.
Yeah.
Where what you feel in your belly is the truth.
Yeah.
I can feel that it's not like. I can feel it too. It has to be like really hard to adapt, something like that.
And I want to make the distinction between catching the wind. You know, it's a trend to be black. I was never about that. I spoke to you about my situation in high school with the boo-boo.
Yeah.
I have always had that consciousness. So it's not a trend that I've followed. You know, I have always had a strong love for our culture, a strong love for our African people. And my life journey has shown that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I suffer here, I suffer because of what I know, that I am not being allowed to be fully me.
Yeah.
I'm not suffering because I want to be like them. I don't want to be like them. I can appreciate them, but I don't want to be like them. I am suffering because I know I'm not able to be fully me. I'll give you an example. I was in South Africa, living in South Africa, and one afternoon, I was at a friend's house, cleaning the dishes after dinner, and I'm looking through the window. And through the window, I can see there's a black guy. He looks like he's from Zimbabwe, and he's looking in South Africa, we call it a peace job. He wants to knock in somebody's door and say, look, I can do your garden, and I can water your thing, you can pay me a little something. That's some of the hustle that our black brothers do when they run away from Zimbabwe. So I could identify what was happening. So I'm sitting there and I'm observing what's going to happen. The young guy, very frail, knocking at the door, waiting for somebody to respond. In comes the owner, a white man. He's driving into his drive-thru and he sees the young guy. He comes out of his car very arrogantly and he's speaking, and you can see the way he's speaking to the young guy. It's not good. The young guy, you can see, he drops the bass from his voice. He shrugs his shoulders. He has colorful pink shirts. And I'm sitting there.
He put himself like lower to really not be a threat.
Yes. And right there, I'm standing cleaning the dishes and I'm like, oh my goodness. That is me. That is me.
Yeah. I understand that.
I drop my voice. I drop my shoulders. I wear pink, girly colors so that I don't look threatening to them. I'm telling you, bro, that afternoon I was like, to hell with it. No, I went home, threw most of my clothes. I started practicing in the mirror to speak with conviction.
You know, no, that's funny thing because like something also that I experienced, you know, even like in France, during like some of the jobs that I was doing. I remember one time, I was the one like my job was to be the manager of this place, and a certain time the guy who was working with me was like not doing his work at all. I remember it was like keep like testing. And it's why I said like being manager or something like this for me is the worst job. I'm not fit for that. Because at a certain point I will say things clearly. I hate shouting because I have like loud vowels, and I hate shouting because it's tiring me. But at this time, every time you go, I do shout. And this guy who was like really in my face before, this little white guy, he was in my face. It was like this. I was like, I start shouting. He told me like, "You threatening," and I'm like. My first answer, I remember because I was like, people there, they start laughing when I said that because like, they'll tell me like, I'll say like, I've talked like this because I'm African. I said this, people start laughing, and I was like, after that, I thought about it, like, this guy was in my face. So like, he was in my personal space, you know, but because I talked loudly, I'm threatening. So the thing is, we have like all these things, I feel as diaspora would become, and we have like the thing that you should not be, you should not look too black. You know, even in my own like education, they were like, you know, you should not wear this because you're gonna get this. Police was stopping me just because like I was like running somewhere. It's like, why are you running? But this white dude running next to me. Like, we're running. It's like, we're running. Why me? It's strange, you know? All these things, like, this stuff that you cannot do. This stuff that you cannot do. You have to think ahead. You know, are you going to cross the road? If there's, like, other people on the side. Even here, you know, I'm like, I can see the threat for them. I can see the threat. You know, I will like, change direction, like, swiftly. People are going to, oh, what happened? I'm like, everybody's changing direction. It's all right. But, like, as us, you know, it's even like, in our body, we need to like smoother things. You know, they put this in us like we need to smoother things. And when you like realize that, you get in totally conflict with yourself. It's like, why? Like you said, you throw all your clothes away. Me, I was like, why? I will have to be like helping them not being afraid. You know, like show my hands, you know, when I'm walking, for them to not thinking that I'm like, why? You know? Or like when I'm behind someone, to like make like say like, hey, I'm behind you. That way you not be scared when why? Why? It is all this thing, you know, it's like you see that we lower ourselves for it's not even for the greater good, it's for their good. For their good. Yes. So I totally understand you because it's something like, I do same experience. I think this is like something that everybody most of the people from our community can relate to. It's like we have to lower yourself. And for this, for the people who look, you know when you go to a supermarket and you go out without buying anything, are you feeling? This is exactly this feeling right now. This is exactly this. So I don't understand that. And obviously so for you, how you adapt to it. You know, you came in no way like I know language, and you came as a grown man.
Yes,
like you're like 30. You told me you're 35.
Yes.
You're like you.
Oh yeah.
This is the thing. You know, it's not like you come in at like 15. Like you're not you. You're not like you're still evolving. You're 35. You're a grown ass man. You. So like you came to this. You know, different culture, different language. You need to adapt. How you went? And even like, you know, your first encounter with like the Norwegian culture. How was it?
You know, I think we spoke when we were planning for this conversation. We had a conversation online before we met face to face, and I told you about this incident with my father. how he used to discipline me.
Yeah.
So he would put me on my knee, on the knees. Yeah. For those who don't know,
it's a greater good. You stay on the knees for a long time. And sometimes they put like bottles in your hand. You stay like this. That's a great invention. It doesn't look like it, but that's a great invention.
So that was quite a tough punishment. But like my mother said, the things that you go through in your young age, you can use it as tools to build your character later on in life.
Yeah.
So this is one of those incidents where out of that punishment, I created a behavior that has helped me in my adult years. And that behavior was that because I didn't want to feel the pain in my knees, I started to imagine myself somewhere else. And that has helped with my imagination and my sensitivity to my surrounding. Yeah. So I can rock up into a room and I can just pick the vibe.
Yeah.
I can know I'm gelling with this brother or I'm not gelling with this sister. So you can imagine the experience I had here.
Obviously, you arrive, you like pick the vibe.
Pick the vibe. Everybody is smiling, but their heart is rotten.
Getting down to the trend Oslo S.
That's it.
The vibe.
Who is this guy? Why is he dressed like that? Why is he sitting next close to me? Why does he smile all the time? You can just hear those expressions, but they don't say it, but you pick up the vibe.
Yeah.
You sit across the reception, you are asking a question. The person is smiling, they're not saying something wrong, but you can pick up the vibe.
Yeah.
They don't want to serve you. Because you are told, they think you are menacing. Because you have a bass in your voice, they think you are being bossy. You overdress, oh, you're showing off. You underdress, oh, you must be poor. What is it that I'm supposed to do?
Yeah. No, for real.
Me, I am black. And black means authentic. When I'm not authentic, I'm dying, man. I came in this country with a size 34 pants. After 6 months, I was wearing a size 38, 40. I hit depression, my bro. Put on so much weight.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And nobody around you understands. Oh, it will get better.
Yeah.
Because this is the country you're overjoyed. You must always be overjoyed. Don't express sadness.
Which is, which in a way, it's kind of crazy because in Scandinavia, like they do a lot of work for mental health. It's not for no reason. Because, at first I was like, when I learned about it, I was like, oh, that's great. Like, Nordic people are really like, oh, they're smart. Because like they treat that, like even if like everybody's okay, there's money stuff. No.
Yeah.
Depression. You can feel like now at something that I see, that I really see. Depression. There's so many things that, like I observe a lot.
Yes,
I'm this type of person that's like going to be quiet.
Yeah. I
will observe a lot.
Yeah.
People are going to feel like I'm cold and stuff. I just like observe until I feel like, okay, I can be me. I don't need to like just dodge you. I can totally be me.
That's it.
And this, I realized, I was like, I was like, people are really sad. There's a lot of sadness in it. There's a lot of sadness in it.
Yes. Even the shops are catered for a single person. You buy a size of a butter for one person, not a family size. You buy a portion of meal for one person. It's catered for the single person. Because most people live by themselves in this country. They don't live as a community. They don't live. I told you that experience I had in the previous apartment that I lived in. 12 in the night, there's a Pakistani-looking guy with his wife running with a baby in the street, which I assume something has happened to the baby. The husband and the wife are running to the hospital. But the funny thing is they are running past cars, streams of cars in the street. Nobody wakes up. Nobody wakes up to come and help them.
This is like a totally different society. Like to the funniest things, like, me, I'm really shocked that I will like where I'm living. I will cross paths with neighbors. They're not going to say hi. we're in front of each other. I even gonna say hi, they're not gonna answer. I'm like, at this point, and I see them too. I see them crossing path between like two Norwegians.
Yeah.
They don't say hi.
They don't say to you,
and
that's
me,
it.
I'm like, for me, this is like the minimum possible. I'm like, how is it possible to not say hi?
Yes, sir.
Like we see each other at least once a week.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yes, sir.
We don't say hi to each other.
Yes, sir.
So obviously like it's a totally different culture. It's something like from what we used to, even if like you live in a diaspora, you never like you were not born on the continent, you live in diaspora, you still have your community around. In France, we really have our communities around, so we used to that.
Yes.
So like even for a lot of people from the diaspora, going to a place, it's so different.
Yeah.
So out of our character. Technically, it's out of our character. Has to be totally like you have to be totally lost.
Oh yeah.
In a way that it's not like it's not natural what's happening.
Yes, sir. But it's natural to them.
Yeah, because it's their culture.
But that's even the thing. Attributing it as a culture, I think it's then what do you call the African culture if this is a culture?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call it a culture. There's once again a lack of culture. There are norms and agreements. They have norms and agreements, no culture. Culture comes from the word occult. Occult comes from the word cult. Cult means a belief. We have a certain belief. We create an occult. We want to celebrate those beliefs in expressions and terms. We create a culture around it. We want to feed ourselves, so we build on agriculture.
Yeah.
But Norway has not gone through the steps like every other nation has. People have gone from the agriculture, they have gone through a feudal system, they've gone through many steps, and eventually they got into the modern system. Norway has jumped from farmers into the technological world. They don't have the in-between. But you and I, because we hear that it's a rich country, we assume and we project those values on them, thinking, because it's a rich country, because it's a developed, they have all those necessary, they don't. And this is not something to put them down, but this is unfortunate. These things has been bestowed on them. They didn't work to get there. And now, people like you and I, when we come here and we have it in us, we have those characteristics, we have those abilities, we are a threat to them. There's a good filmmaker guy, face to face, he told me, I would never hire you, bro. I'm threatened of you. Because I know by the end of the year, you'll take my post, I'll be in the streets. They're going to like you better than me. They're going to follow you better than me. They will listen to your voice, your authority. They're going to put me out the door. I will never hire you. You are a threat to me. How do you deal with that, my man? How do you deal with that? You came so you can contribute. But you come to a country and you are called a minority. Lots of us accept it thinking, yes, numerically it makes sense. We are the smallest. No. You have to understand it politically what it means.
It's diminishing.
Yes.
You're minority.
Yes, minority.
You have less right.
Less right. But why is that? You are a minority, not because you are incapable, not because you are not intelligent. No. You are a minority because you are a minor. You are a child. So if we turn you into a child, then we can dictate to you. We can begin to parent you. Learn the new language. Learn our ways. Learn how to live, just like you would do to a child. That's why you are called a minority. They turn you into a child. Regardless of what you have learned, what you have come up with, it means nothing to them.
I never thought about it that way, Like the fact that you go to a country and technically everything that you were, the grown-ass person that you are, is putting totally down. So like it doesn't exist anymore. You can go back to school. Square one. You are kids now. Yeah.
Just like what was done to our ancestors. They told them, no, these kids are not learning. These kids are not studying. They're wasting their time. Put them in the classroom. Put them in the box. Get them to repeat the alphabet. A, B, C, A, B, C. But what they don't realize, when that kid was playing in the street, she was learning. When she was walking, she was learning geography, archaeology, learning the stones, learning how cold or warm it is, and sand. When she was carrying water, she was learning the balance of water, the balance of life. She was counting 1, 2, 3. She was learning. She was playing, but it wasn't called learning. It was called playing. That's how we learned. Even their own psychologists in Europe now are telling their parents, oh, the first 7 years of a child's life, leave them alone. Don't indoctrinate them. Leave them alone. They're beginning to catch on. Oh no, clothing is not really that healthy. It's nice when the sun hits your natural skin. But they're the same people who told us we were naked.
Yeah. Obviously.
Can you see the switch, my bro?
Yeah.
And this is my frustration. That you come here and you are talked down to with people who don't know. You don't know. A king recognizes another king. If you are a king and you speak, the king in me will recognize that. But I know that you are not a king.
They still want to dictate.
But you want to dictate. What? And the unfortunate part about this, because of many of our brothers and sisters, we had to play along to preserve the food, the accommodation, the little crumbs they give us. Yeah. And it has hurt us, man. Now that you have people like you and me who come from the black, we are here. We don't take that nonsense. And that's what shocks them.
But this is the greatest trap, is like they gave to people who came here, gave us like this little comfort. And they made like this fear we're talking about, this fear that losing something. So for the fear, like you said, you have two choices. And most of the time, it's like you want to preserve. You're scared to be punished. The punishment is like they take the comfort. So you're going to do everything to be liked.
Yeah.
Exactly how you said at the beginning. Punishment, you accept the punishment, or you try to be liked.
Yes.
You want to be liked, that way you're not going to get the punishment. You can keep the comfort.
Yeah.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of like about our community here. You came here. It was easy for you to communicate and like link with our community, with Black people, African people already established. Because you arrived in Oslo, right?
Yeah.
So established in Oslo, it was easy for you, and it was helping. It helped you out, like adapt to the country.
I will be blunt with you in saying that there is no such thing as a Black community in Norway.
Damn, so, I started to say, because I started with I put interest looking at the Black community. After an hour of talk, there's no Black community. We good. Let's go. That was rough. So yeah,
there is nothing worse than attributing praises to something or someone that does not deserve it. We don't deserve that title, Black people in this country, to call ourselves a community.
That's heavy.
Tell me, bro, if you need to just go hang in, you've been here for a few weeks.
Yeah.
If you just need a spot to go and hang in town, where do you go?
You tell me this, yeah, but obviously, like, technically where I'll go to hang in town, in our community.
Yeah.
None.
No, you don't have to pay anything. You can just come and you are welcome. Where?
I'll get some fire for that, but I own it. I own it. If I was Somalian, yeah, I would know a place.
Thank you for bringing that up.
If I was Somalian, I would know a place, because this is how I was introduced.
Yes.
I saw that there was like places, like this Somalian community.
Yes.
Somali community, where like you can go somewhere and just like sit, having like,
yes,
other than this, Yeah. No. Well, now I have you, I have Babu. That's it. I'll call you up and say like, let's try to find like a place to have like some tea, you know. But other than this, no, I don't. To be honest, no.
Yeah, let's put that on record. What happened to us yesterday?
Yeah.
We were at a venue, and look how we were treated.
We were treated like for someone that you will see just by their appearance from our community.
Yeah.
But went down on us like. Yeah, a guy went down on us. Me and Babu at the hotel. A guy went down on us. Like he did the same, but he was from our community. Yeah.
So how dare do we call ourselves a community? We can use it maybe as a reference point or a community. Yeah, maybe in that sense.
But like in the depth of it,
no,
there's
not there, bro.
So you didn't find any. At least one guy.
Not for lack of asking, not for lack of searching. Any of them that watch this documentary, well, no, I came face to face. I didn't write an email. I'm an African. Yeah. I went to knock in their doors. I went to see them face to face, bro. Nothing happened out of it. We do not have a black community in Oslo. We have series of events and activities that can pose itself as such. We don't.
Okay.
And politically, strategically, it's been set as such.
Yeah.
As such.
It's always like this. Every time I say the same, it's like divide. You just need to divide to reign. It's like divide to conquer. That's it.
Yes, sir.
It's like the oldest thing.
That's it.
It's still working.
That's it.
Like the crazy thing is like this. Why it was like it. I guess for me, this is why it's the most frustrating. Is like everybody knows it. Everybody knows that exactly what's happening.
Oh yeah.
And for most of the things that happen in the world, right now, everybody knows. Everybody knows why it's happening, how it's happening, and with whom it's happening. Everybody. Yes. But we still there. We're still there. We're still there doing the same. It's not still there doing the same. And obviously, it's extremely frustrating because you can see the only change that is going to be is the change that is going to be okay for them.
Yes.
You know, for the 1% who own as the keys.
Yes, sir.
What they're happy, they're okay to give. You know, it's like this thing. You know, like from Malcolm X, he said something that really struck me one time. He was saying like. There was a journalist say like, you know, we gave right to do this. So are you not content? Why are you not happy? He was like, if I stab you 9 centimeters in your back, I put out for 2 centimeters. I'm still stabbing you for 7 centimeters. I'm still stabbing you. So would you thank me? So like, oh, you're so nice. You put out a little bit. You put out a little bit. No, you still stabbing me. You're still stabbing me. And this analogy, I was like, this is exactly how it is. We give little by little for you to lower your fight, to lower your animosity, to lower for them the violence, the threat. Yeah. Always.
Yes,
so
sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, it's so. Now let's go deep in your work.
Yes,
I would like to know, you know, because you've been photographing in Europe, Africa, all around the world. But I would like to know the difference, you know, that you perceive between the work you did in Europe and in Africa and the work you did in Europe. If it was it becomes more militant, less militant, and I was perceived. Did it change your, you know, the focus on your work and everything?
So for me, it's always been the value that the people had put on my work that gave it life. You know, it's one thing to produce, but like you were saying earlier, it's one thing to produce, but if I don't feel it, you know what I'm saying?
Why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it? That's it. So for me, I almost felt as if I came too early to my own community. Because some things that I was producing, it's like, first of all, I was condescended at. No, you didn't do it. Are you sure? How can one man do all these things? You know what I'm saying? There was so much skepticism. And then the next part was that you are not qualified to cover certain topics. Who are you to call upon the government? Who are you to challenge the principal of the school? Who are you to do this and to do that? Yeah. So there was so much skepticism, even within my own community. But the militant part has always been there, my brother.
Yeah.
I have always made it an issue to hold on to my militancy with my work. So whether I was in the continent or in Norway, it hasn't dampened my spirit at all.
Okay.
I've even had to move away from certain projects where I felt like, no, I'm not feeling this. Yeah. I don't see the purpose of this. Or even worse, I think this can harm my community. I can get to eat. There's no problem. I can get cash my check, but I can see in the long run, this can hurt my community. Yeah. Therefore, I'm abstaining from it. Yeah.
I understand that.
So definitely, the value in which people have given has always been this way. Yeah. But the militancy has always been consistent. Yeah.
And like staying in this militant way, was it hard to show your work in Norway?
It's a very lonely walk, especially now that I have a wife and I have kids. It's no longer about me.
Yeah,
they might be afraid to attack me, but they can harm them. So there's a lot of consideration that I must keep in mind. And so it has become, I'm having to do a lot of reflection before I present my thoughts or my work or my ideas in public. So that could be one of the distinction between Africa and here. That I am more I am more conscious that I'm not just me, but I have my surrounding that can be affected by my views on a specific topic.
I understand that.
Yes, sir.
Because also, like, there's something that I learned not too long ago, to be totally honest, yesterday. There was like a really big march, for the BLM movement.
Yeah.
Not gonna like talk too much about BLM movement, but they arise that's also on this show. Shout out to the brother Babu.
Shout out to Babu.
Yeah. Like they created this march, And this is also maybe the first time that I saw your work was not so long ago. And there was like this exhibition, on the museum. And I remember like I was looking at it, I was like, oh, that's nice, because I didn't know. At this time I didn't know there was even like a march or like awareness. Not just for the BLM thing, but like awareness about like our community, and what like a little drop of what we're going through, in the world, at least in Norway. I didn't know. So I was nicely surprised. I remember that before we had this conversation, I remember I was looking at it, I was like, oh, that's nice. I was taking like pictures with my phone. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I said, oh, that's nice. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I was like, why it's nice? Why I'm looking about a suffering?
Yes, sir.
And I said, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And I thought we had this talk, where we had this video conference and we talked about it. And you told me that you do work, militant work, or you show how it is. It's exactly what you said at first. Is like you don't take pictures of the sunset.
Yes, sir.
You take pictures of how we reflect on people.
Yes, sir.
So like we take pictures about, you see another way. We want more truth.
Yes, sir.
Because the sun is beautiful.
Yes, sir.
But it can be ugly on some people.
Sure.
So I was looking at this exhibition and I was like, oh, that's nice. And we talked about it. You told me about like how your works can be, transformed by people to make it tasteless, but easier to eat for other people. If you see the analogy, it's when you go into a restaurant and you feel like, I'm used to eat that food.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste the same right now.
Yeah.
And you ask to add more spice and you know they lower the spice because other people need to eat it. This is technically what they did, did with your work. So I would like you to go through not just for the BLM thing, but like globally how you feel about like how they use your work, you know.
That's it, my brother. Just like you say, to some they can relate to the word militancy, but some can also relate to truthfulness, deepness. It's the same thing. We are really trying to preserve a historical moment. And people who are curating these things in museum, people who are picking up these things from Netflix and whatever, you have to be careful not to bring your own prejudice to it or your own likeness to it. I can only imagine people in the 60s saying, I don't like that. I have a dream speech. Let's cancel it. History would have never learned that, And talking about that dream, I actually heard a very interesting quote. Somebody was saying, why is it that black people don't dream? Why is it that black people have nightmares? And then the guy answered, because they shot and killed the last person who had a dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's really where my conservativeness comes from. Yeah.
I feel that.
Like I'm trying to preserve. I know it's also painful. I know it's also embarrassing to me, but we need to preserve these things and be careful how we present our stories to the rest of the world. Just like you said, you went there and you were like, oh, nice. Nobody went out crying. Nobody went out frustrated. Feeling like, whoa.
What's happening?
Is this what happened on the 5th of June? Nobody went. No, people just, it's like a walk in the park and then they went back home. It lost its militancy. And that's why for me, I'm trying to move out of those institutions and try to find a way to preserve my work and present it as I see it, right or wrong.
Yeah. But at least how you see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I see it.
Thank you. I will be like, we come to my last questions. Yeah. And first of all, I will really, because you really respected the vision of Tableau Noir, which is no taboo, where we come how we are, and we say how we feel. This is the most important thing because we tend to go to the right answer.
Yeah.
It's never the right answer, it's just what people want to hear.
Yes, sir.
And this is not the truth. This is not the way. We have to understand we're humans.
Yes,
we all have individuality and stuff. So my question is, because like I said, Tableau Noir is a space that you like free to talk and say how you are and how you feel, or community. So I would like to know if you found this Tableau Noir in your life. And if you did find it, where is it?
I have found it, but it's not complete yet. In Africa, we say, who are the 6 people that are going to carry your grave? You carry your coffin when you die. Who are the ones who are going to take it out of the church? I have 3 so far. I'm still working on the 3rd. So my table is there, and it's not full circle yet.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, as you need a circle in your life. That's exactly this. Technically, it's just like the circle in your life.
Yes, sir.
I feel that. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you for this interview. It was like extremely meaningful, and I also learned a lot of things. So I appreciate that.
Thank you,
brother. I appreciate that. And for the people who watched it, I hope that first of all you will check up the work of my brother. This picture, he become my mentor for the photography. So check him, and also I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. I hope it'll help you to go even further and still research more about all different communities everywhere, if there is or if there not. and also, just express yourself and just, be on Table Noire. Good. Appreciate you.
Thank you, my brother.
Be good.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that was amazing. I appreciate you, bro. That was amazing. Like, really? Whoa.